Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's live stream. Um, we're just gonna dive right into it. I'm gonna try to keep this not so long or anything, and we'll just do some analysis and kind of see where we're at on the charts here. First things first, let's do some cleaning up and just kind of take a look at what all this stuff is here that we put on the chart. Okay. So this week, what's the date today? So Friday. Friday then is going to be Q1 candle close, right? So that is very much worth keeping in mind. Not only is it the month of close, it's also Q1, right? So if we, maybe that's something we can take a look at. Let me just go ahead and hide everything here, and then we will dive back in. So here are our quarterly candles. And this is a really nice quarterly candle. I mean, look at this. It's a great bullish engulfing quarterly candle, right? So this is really nice for bulls. Let's see, fair value would put here, so about 21.6 would be the pullback on that. Has that mattered before? We didn't make it there or there, so maybe not. It's interesting. So anyway, this candle's about to close, right? And then from here we can go ahead and look to put in a new one, and we'll have to sort of, wait to see what that's gonna look like. Let's go down to a weekly time frame. Did get a weekly close. We did get a new weekly with that close. That looks like it's already been tapped by today's high. This is not a great weekly close for bulls, right? This is an evening star. We had a massive move up to an evening star, signaling indecision amongst both bulls and bears. But it ultimately means, right, that no one, without first having a pullback to get some fresh longs in, people really aren't interested in longing up here, or at least this is what this candle is telling us. Okay. So what we can expect here is either A, more sideways, or B, to, my first target would essentially be, and we can go ahead and update this here. We'll go to our I don't know why the camera is so dark. Whatever, I'll ignore it. Let's go to our previous week levels. We'll go ahead and just do our high and low. And we're going to start cleaning some stuff up. Open. Okay, that's all good. We can come back to that. Fib time, 1-to-1 local. It's not particularly interesting. Wow, so the previous week high and low. Yeah, look at this. I mean, that's really I mean, here's the deal, guys. This I don't think this could actually be any more simple. I will, of course, get into more specifics with this, but as you can see, we're at the mid-range, right? So there really is no trade to take here other than scalps, which I am in a short scalp right now that, ultimately, I guess that, right now I'm looking at sort of range low here as my primary target. But again, going back to what are we looking at here? This is the range high, this is the range low from last week. Now, most simply put, the next two trades that you'd want to take are this or this. Right? Pretty simple stuff. This to me is literally you need two lines. These two lines, and in my opinion, you can take a successful next trade and keep yourself from getting chopped up in this, consolidation here, right? People trying to say, oh, we should long here, we're gonna go higher, or oh, we should short here, we're gonna go lower. And well, guess what? They've said that, maybe they say that here and then we don't go higher. They revisit their entry. Maybe they short here and then it goes here and then it comes back to their entry and then they flip long again, flip short, flip long. This is an absolute disaster. There's really no need to trade this unless, again, you're scalping. I think looking at this chart, this is quite literally the most simple thing that you could do here is that we would just simply look for a deviation of the range low or the range high from last week's from last week's high and low, right? This would be the most simple thing that you could do. So we'll go ahead and add some more analysis to this and see if we can't come up with some stuff here. First of all, I would really like to clean up whatever the hell's been going on with my object tree here. I know I've said this to you guys a million times, but for whatever reason, my object tree like loves to move itself around. And then we'll take a look at all this stuff here and update it and get rid of some old stuff. All right, what's this? Okay, well, this played out. All of these shorts looked great. Obviously, we're still waiting for the deviation of the low. But that said, I don't think we need this anymore, so I'm going to get rid of that. We have not hit those targets. I will keep that for now. I drew this a while ago. I can't remember when, but the idea, give you guys a little bit more context here, is that we, sort of round out here, deviate range lows, which we did, get a move back up towards the top of the range, and then from there, price either decides to continue, take out the high that would then give us this, right, this scenario, or we don't, and we simply have continuation to the downside. And right now, I would consider this, that move. And if we continue down from here, I think it's more likely that we just take out the previous week low rather than having continuation to the upside. So this looks good. This is looking good. I like this. That said, I don't think that I need it anymore. But this played out really well. So far so good. I do like this, but I want to clean up my charts, so I'm going to get rid of it. Okay, so we have yet to see. Let's do a little bit of data on this here. I'm just curious. Okay, so 1. Okay. Say this is 3. All right, so if Yikes. It's pretty ugly. Well, we're gonna tuck that away for now, and we will come back to it. This played out. It's done. The evil plan played out to a point, but we didn't get the sweep yet. I'm gonna get rid of that. This local wedge. I don't think I need this anymore. This. Maybe. Aw, man, it's going lower. Let's go. This is my last, this is the last week of that trading tournament that I've been in. And, I'm doing pretty well. I think I'm actually in the top 20 now. I have to double check, but if this short plays out like how I want it to, I will absolutely be in the top 20. But I'd like to hit at least like one just solid trade this week so I could be up like 100% this week for this month instead of just like 70. Anyway, so okay, let's take a look at this local range. This is a channel I'm very these are two channels that I'm ultimately very very interested in, right? So like this upwards channel for quite some time has been incredibly, let's go to like a 2 hour or something, yeah. It's been really respected, right? Between the midline, the bottom, top, midline, top, right? And then here, we can see that it's losing the uptrend, right? This is where we rejected at the midline, reclaimed the sideways channel, and now we've sort of just been consolidating again in the sideways channel, right? And, this is really, this is a smaller channel within a larger channel, right? But again, if we take our fixed range pull and we go ahead and draw it over, you can see that the value area is quite literally that range, right? And, like I said, for me, the best two trades we could take are just the deviations of the larger range, right? Which are ultimately the FOMC meetings high and low. So this candle is the FOMC meeting. This is the high. This is the low, right? That day of the FOMC meeting. And basically I want to deviate either the high or the low of that for my next trade. Now, so let's remove this fixed range, this channel. We could technically redraw this channel as being, let's just try this once. I just want to see what it looks like. Yeah, I mean, that looks pretty damn good to me. So basically what we'd want to see then again is like a deviation of this range low, right? We want to deviate the range low, reclaim, and then we can look for a long position, right? That'll give us a place for our stop loss and our entry to then trade to the midline and back to the top of the channel. So this is ultimately is what I would be looking for on a most simplistic level. If we simply zoom out and don't get too caught up with you know, some of this lower time frame price action, I think that this, most simply put, is the best way to go here. So we can just say, you know, 26 through 29 range. And I'm going to go ahead and throw this in our local range here. Let's look at some of our other ones here. I just want to see if we even want some of these anymore. Yeah, like this range, honestly, we probably should maybe move this down if I did that. No, just leave it. All right, what's this one? S1, S2. Less interested in these. The fib. Okay, cool. So this is pretty interesting. Let's see if we can. It's close. It's not quite the channel. Okay, we can see that this one is also pretty well respected. Could we deviate that low? Could we go down to 25? Hmm. Let's look at some other stuff before we dive into this channel. I'm kind of curious as to where there's a handful of things here that I find pretty interesting. This channel, you know, here it's pretty well respected right now. But when I look at this channel, it would suggest to me that if we were to have a deviation, I would think that we would go to the midline. But I don't really have reason to believe that we're going to go that much lower right this minute. Like, I don't look at this and think, yeah, we're going to go that much lower. Let's take a brief look at liquidity here. Let's look at the last 7 days. So 25 through 50. What is this at? 26,200. This one's smaller. Okay, so maybe it is on the table. Maybe this is on the table. Why not? Fuck, I mean. Yeah. It's a pretty damn big deviation, though. It's also the 382. Right? Draw from here to here. It's the 382. Let's lock those up. So it's the 382. It's the midline of this channel. Let's hide that. Okay. All right. We know that this channel is pretty much shot for the time being. You're currently getting below that smaller range, which is nice. Okay, that's our primary range, our macro range that we were in for a while, so we could expect to front run that, which would be very nice. And it's also the top of this previous channel. Well, if I were to guess, I would say that this is where we're going to go unless we get a smaller deviation of this range here. Let's take a look. Oh, interesting. Okay, this is our upper channel. Very well respected yet. Yeah, this has been pretty well respected. Not particularly interested. Yeah, so if price gets here like within this time frame, I think I might be interested in a position. Well, I don't need that because I have the okay, let's keep that up with yeah, so I like where our chart's going so far. I'm into this. This looks good. Let's take a look at some of this other shit here. I just want to clean up. This is the 1-to-1, so this is the target for that's the target for well, the descending triangle, which doesn't matter anymore because it's playing out. There's that local trend line. There's this one. I'm not really interested in that one. This is the short position I took. Both take profits have been hit on that. All right. Don't need that anymore. Okay, holy shit. Okay, we didn't get that. We didn't get this move up. It looks like we're going down. Getting rid of these. This I posted. Obviously, we didn't get that consolidation to the upside, so that is garbage, as is this. Long positions. This got stopped out. Don't know what that is. Don't need it. This is a. What is this? Not sure what I was doing there. All right, so price slowly starting to lose the value area here. All right, it's a good sign for our shorts and for an upcoming long if we lose this. 31K val from the previous range that we pointed out that we've been talking about for a long time back here. Held as resistance, so that was great. This was really nice. Good thing to have on the chart. All right, so we have here another channel. This looks like pretty similar to another channel we had. I'm gonna get rid of this one. I don't really like it that much. Yeah, look at this guy. It's just spot on bouncing from there. This is a super important chart to have marked. You know what I'm gonna do even? Just to clean up my chart, because I kind of want to leave that, is I'm just gonna drop a, go ahead and hide that. All right. Okay, don't really need that trend line. I like this trend line quite a bit. Yeah, it's basically the top of the channel, right? Ooh, yikes. Losing this one, huh? It's not a trend line you want to lose right now. Okay. It's our macro trend line. Hmm. Okay, none of that's really relevant right now. Let's see. Let's get back in here. Let's look at our VWAPs. All right. Naked point of control. Ooh, shit. There's one right there. All right, we're gonna not pay attention to that for now. Local trend lines. This one will no longer be useful. These other ones aren't really useful. This one, not particularly useful. Holy shit, that one's pretty useful. Okay. Okay. Yikes. Jesus. I gotta clean some of these channels up here. Let's look at, I think I got some levels here we can, 26, 460. 26,460. Let's throw that on the chart. It was 462. That was a New York. So this actually might be a decent deviation target. All right, we'll clone this. We also have one at 25,875. 25,875. Oops, this was the wrong one. So 26, 462, I think it was. Yeah. All right. So again, our fib, our flag is right on top of the 24K range high for a 382 retracement. And that's a retracement on the whole bit. Now, what if we just retraced from here to here? 618 falls on this naked session point of control. Let's look at some of these other. Okay, so we can see that the 55 moving average right now is holding as support along with this trend line to some degree. Okay, let's go to our daily. Whereas the 21 daily is 25,985, so 29,985. Yeah, so that's right in here. So we'll just go ahead and add this plus 21 daily moving average and 55 is far lower. Okay, let's go to the week. Throw on our moving averages. Okay, the highest one is the 200. That's at 25,550. 25,550. 25,550. So if we front ran that, this would be a really good level. So we can say front run 200. Might be a good front run on that. It would probably end up being like the 236, which I hate that level. So if this was 1, 2, 3, 4, we go down here, 5. Would be the only way. All right, so we could do, let's say, this deviation. And then do this deviation for then our actual move down to here. 0.5 is right on top of that, so that's really nice. Well, I think that that's going to be it for BTC. So here's the thing. Funding rates are largely negative. I mean, they're not like crazy, but they are negative. We do have quite a bit and negative delta built up here. And as we drop, as you can see, bulls are continuing to long, which would then be more fuel for continuation to the downside. So despite some of this, bearish, so actually, from what I see here, like just by looking at this and seeing that we're already at, about 9 billion in negative delta just on Binance alone, and we do have a little bit of liquidity to the downside. Let's go to our 7-day here. We do have a little bit of liquidity around 26.9, the biggest being around that 25 mark, but let's say so 26.9, right? So that's still a little bit lower than that. But that pocket goes down to about 26,300. So if we were to grab that whole bit, that would give us our deviation. So I do like that. I would, at the very least, I think I would look for, what is it, 200? It goes down to 200 or 300 or 400, let's say 350. Okay, so basically, yeah, looking for a long position here in this zone for, basically this deviation to the downside, right? We want to deviate this range low, reclaim, hold a support. We can look for a long, at the very least, to test this trend line in the top of the channel, whatever, right? And we can zoom in, we can go to a lower time frame, and we can look at this, I could definitely see a move down here, reclaim, and then, we come and back test this zone, to which we can either look for a short or price will find the strength to break through. So that'll be yet to be seen. But for now, like I said, my two primary trades are ultimately, if we go ahead and hide some of this stuff here, I don't want to make everything too messy here, but like I said, really just my next two trades would be to long the deviation of the low or short the deviation of the high, right? For me, these would be the next two. Whichever one comes first, it doesn't matter to me, but they would be my next two trades. And then from there, we can kind of update and see what we want to do. Now, if price reaches this zone here and we simply fall through, then we go ahead and look to this area at about the 24K range high, somewhere around, 25,400. Okay, so that would be like the next place that we would be looking for, is sort of 25,400, 25,200, somewhere in that zone. But I'm not going to miss the opportunity to maybe get some kind of a day trade or a scalp trade, at the very least, or maybe, even the long that does take us to new highs, we'll just sort of have to wait and see. But I really do like this area first, taking out this low as our first, place to look for a trade. In the meantime, unless you're scalping or day trading or doing whatever, there's really no reason to be involved in trading some of this more local price action. Okay, and if we go down to a much slower time frame, 30 minutes here, and we pop on our, what I've been trading was this channel here. I've been doing a lot of trading on this channel. It's gone really, really well. A couple things I've been doing is taking shorts on the 618 on the way down. So if we go ahead and take a look here, I basically shorted here and then drew another 618 pull here from here to here, shorted in here, drew another one from here to here, compounded there. So if we really zoom in here, you can see back test the 618 short. This one went up to the 786, back tested the 618 again, short, right? This front ran my take profit here, compounded my short on, again, a 618 back test, moved my stop loss from here to here, right? So then I can add position. And, well, I've now since hit the final take profit of that scalp trade. That said, I'm obviously going to hold in the event that we, go ahead and truly deviate this range and finally get a move down, right? Because as we pointed out earlier, this range is quite literally just the value area. So once we lose the value area here, we can look for continuation and hopefully what would then be a sweep of the previous week low. So I'll leave it at that. I'm actually going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to keep my chart incredibly simple right now. I'm going to go to a 1 hour time frame, and I'm really just not going to, let's see, maybe I do want the range on here. Yeah, I'm just really not going to add anything to my chart here, and I'm going to keep this extremely simple, and knowing that this is really what I'm looking for, right? Preferably sometime around this time frame. So I'll update as we near this and as things kind of get more into our zone of interest. But right now, if price were to somehow find support here and start ripping, well, then you guys know what to do. If we do continue to fall, then of course we know what to do. Okay, cool. So let's see here. I just want to look at. Yeah, we'll probably form some bullish divergence on a daily time frame in the event that we do get that larger retracement. Let's take a brief look at ETH. Oof. Man, ETH's having a rough go of it, isn't it? All the alts are. So we won't spend a lot of time on this one either, but this I didn't take, but I really wanted it. I almost shorted here, and I decided not to. Obviously, it wouldn't have been a bad play. I'll go ahead and get rid of that. So we can see here, this trend line was very, very key. Basically back testing it along the way. It didn't even quite reach it really, and then it broke down from there. But for me, the biggest thing, let's actually just go ahead and clean some of this up a little bit very briefly here. Wow. Look at how well this fractal played out. I remember I drew this when it was over here, um, before we broke down, and I was looking for a long position in here, and yeah, that just played out really, really well. So get rid of that. I can leave that. Don't need this. This long position's played out. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Hmm. This is a really old resistance box that I drew a long time ago. You can see it's still very much resistance. All right, those all played out. Our X's here. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Hmm. Okay, where's our big sideways channel? Okay, this is the one. To me, this is like the most important channel. You know what? I didn't add that to this chart. I want to do that quick. Oh my God. Look at how perfect this fair value gap is. Jesus. Oh my God, no way. It's literally the top of it is the previous week low, and then the bottom of it is the top of our 24K range. So, all right. So basically, sometimes you can look to a fair value gap to hold a support, right? And what you'll see is that it'll actually wick inside but close above, which is exactly what we're looking for to happen here, because we'd like to grab this liquidity, close above to confirm that we're holding this previous week low as support, and then we would look for a continuation to the upside. So to have, you know, this fair value gap here that I would follow a similar play on is incredible. It's like it's such beautiful synergy and confluence for this trade. It's insane. Now, on the other hand, if we get in here and we close within the fair value gap, you would typically treat it like a CME, where you would expect it to then be filled to the downside, which just so happens to also be the 24K range high, along with this bigger pocket of liquidity here. So what we can look for is, again, if we can hold this, close above, we can look for then some degree of a bounce, at the very least a scalp. On the other hand, if we close below, then we can look for continuation to the downside, hold this here, and look for our long position, you know, to have continuation to the upside. So this is really, 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 really great confluence. I'm like blown away that that is simply there that well. Okay, and so we have a nice, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and draw this out here from high to low. So the range low, okay. The range low lines up with the 618. Who's to say that we'll go that low? Okay, so this fair value gap has been filled. This fair value gap, not quite, but virtually filled. There's a very small gap here. Not really worried about that. And then there's this larger gap here that would definitely be of more interest to me. Okay, so maybe look to hold this one. Another thing I didn't take a look at were order blocks. I'm just curious. Let's take a look at H4. Did we have any good order blocks? 6, 12, day, H1. There's an H1 order block here. Not particularly interested. Yeah, okay, so no, not really any OBs to speak of that are of importance in my opinion. Go ahead and hide that. Let's take a look at the liquidity on ETH. All right, so liquidity for the last 7 days on ETH, 716.85, 17 and 16.85. So that would coincide with the top of the. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to set this alert here, and I'm going to say if BTC deviates previous week low, look for a long position here at same time. So there's a nice bit of liquidity right in this area here, which is also the previous range high. So basically, if we were to just zoom in here a little bit, ultimately what we would look to do is for price to come down into this zone, find support here, and then we would look to long it, you know, I don't know, at the very least up for a scalp, and we can take a look at some, more details on that. I don't think it's going to be happening at this very second, but just to know that that is an area of interest and we can look at some kind of a setup there when we do get there. Let's look at the lower. So 1585 would be the lower area of liquidity. 1585, which would also be the mid-range, which would be sweeping this low. It's not really a whole lot for me to say about that 1585 spot. Not a whole lot for me to say there. So let's take it one step at a time. I want to see what happens when we get here. If we don't find support, then we'll look a little bit lower. But for now, I think that that's my primary target for at least some degree of a scalp trade. Fucking hell, yeah. This ETH might have a much bigger. Well, I think we'll call it there. It's pretty clear what we're going to get. Deviation of this range low, so do keep an eye on that. We're going to wait to watch for that to happen. And I'll be sure to keep you guys updated in the Discord. And I'll go ahead and post this chart following. Okay. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Set alerts for the previous week range low, about that 26,700 area. And when we do hit that, no need to knife catch, no need to like start spamming long. Okay. We're going to look to see if we can grab liquidity there. We're going to look to see price build some kind of a setup and build a little area of support. If we get that small area of support, then we'll go ahead and we'll look for a long position and we'll take it higher. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the Discord. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and cut the stream there at about 1 hour. Like I said, I will post some charts in the Discord as well for you guys to keep an eye on. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you guys in the Discord.